Welcome everybody to this Syngenta Flowers webinar. My name is Michael van Bakel. I'm the head of marketing for Syngenta Flowers APAC. With great enthusiasm, I'd like to introduce you Ivan Postniakov, our technical specialist for the tropical regions. Ivan will give us a presentation in 2 sessions. This is the first one, and the second one is in a week's time. And he will take us into a deep dive into technology for Gerbera. Ivan, floor is yours.
Thank you, Michael, for a presentation of myself, and I would like to say thank you very much for all attenders who join our webinar today, for our customers, for our colleagues, and let's start with this webinar. Through this webinar, I will go through technical tips on Gerbera. It's a critical tips that you have to mention in your mind to get a success with our Gerbera assortment and to get the success with your plants. And today we will talk about our Gerbera's assortment in the first, and I would like to show you really opportunity and very nice and very huge assortment whether you can see in the market. And now we start to talk about what kind of really opportunity you can find with our assortment. Our assortment, it's very versatile, and you can find here different type of Gerberas for different application. We focus in this kind of slides on the pot size. You can use Gerbera. You can find here, honestly, Gerbera for any type of pots, since from a too small, like a 9-10 centimeters pots, up to 35 centimeters pots, and I will explain how you can feed the 35, even 35 centimeter pots. And let's start with our smallest and tiny and very nice Gerbera Jaguar. Here you can see the orange one from our assortment. It's suitable from different type of pots as well, from 10 centimeters up to 13 centimeters. But we recommend to use it ideally for 10 centimeters pots, and you can find in our catalog as well all assortment, all varieties from this series. We have a 12 varieties plus 2 mix in this series. It's very huge assortment, and this Gerbera has a not small, but even this medium size of flowers, and so that's why you will get a very nice plant with with a quite huge flowers in compare of the pot size. And let's go to our bit bigger variety, Bengal. Here you can see Bengal red with eye. With eye, it's mean black-eyed flowers, and here you can see the plant has a really big flower, really showy flower. And honestly, we have 7 separate colors in this series and 1 mix. This series is suitable even for the bigger pots, like a 15 centimeters pot, but you can use as well in a bit smaller pot, and even you can use this plant for bigger pots, like for 20 centimeter pots. It can fit well. And if you apply much more bigger plants per pot, you can feed 35 centimeter pots. And let's go for the unique varieties, unique series. It's called a cartwheel. In our cartwheel, we have 3 lines. One of them called Chardonnay, one of them called Autumn Colors, and we have another third one with a different coloration of the flowers. For Chardonnay, it's mostly you can find mostly the pink and little little bit yellow flowers. In Autumn Colors, you can find a bright, very bright flowers, and in entire series you can find any kind of flowers with any type of coloration. And please be noted that this series have a unique by really double flower inflorescence. So let's go to our biggest variety. It's elephant. Here you can, on the picture from the right side of the slides, here you can find the elephant red versus a Bengal scarlet, and you can see a really huge assortment with exceptional size of the flowers. And in the picture from the right side, you can see how you can fit even 25 centimeter pot only with the 3 plants. It is a very nice performance of this type of Gerbera. Here you can see the Bengal can fit easily 25 centimeter crop. So as you can see from these 2 slides, you can find a lot of opportunities with our Gerbera. And later on, I will tell you how you can get these nice results. And today we will talk mostly on the young plants production up until transplanting stage. And let's go through with the let's start with the preparation stage, because mostly every grower is thinking that vegetation start from sowing time, but honestly, it starts a little bit early. Here you can see the overview on our series, and with using our QR code on left, or sorry, right bottom corner, you can use this QR code to reach out our catalogs. And here you can see the classification and suitable pot size and suitable flower size, what you can get from our with our varieties. And please check everything what you want to find in our catalog and in our site as well. Let's go with preparation. So as I said before, the preparation start not from a sowing. I mean the process, growing process starting not from the sowing time. It started a little bit early, and no many growers keep it in mind, but I would like to focus on with the area preparation. To get with a success your plants, to get the result with the success, you should start with a cleaning area, and you have to remind just only one rules with one sentence. Let's start with the clean area and continue with the clean condition. What's mean start with a clean area? You should and I honestly advise use a separate area. What's mean separate area? It's mean you should avoid any transit of the people, stuff, plants, and other materials through this area. Next one, mind the gap. What's mean mind the gap? Mind about the to let your staff make and maintain your greenhouse in clean condition. So it's mean a gap in production. Let's put in the schedule just only 1 or 1.5 months to totally clean area. What's mean about total clean area? In a picture from the right side, you can see a real clean greenhouse. It's clean from the plants. It's clean from the any dust. It's clean even with the table surface in the bottom area behind the table. And don't forget to remove any weeds, because this point sometime might may to out of focus of the growers, and please remember that any weeds can be hosts for the pests and for the diseases. So please keep your focus on this item as well. And start with new material. If you start to sow in a trays for Gerbera for premium plants, it's better to start with clean trays, with clean tools, and with a new material as well. And let's continue with the clean air, with the clean condition. What's mean clean condition? Always be prepared to start with your plants. I mean, wash your hands, or it's better to use disposal gloves, instruments, and keep clean air, keep your area in clean condition. I mean, what's mean keep area in clean condition? Remove all plant residuals after work. Continue remove all weeds from greenhouse, and not forget about it. One interesting item is disinfection mat. Disinfection mat, I mean that it's a kind of carpet or carpet made from foam, soaked or filled with a antiseptic material. And now, if you're sure you are prepared with your area properly, we start with the material. And the first material we should be focused a lot is the seeds. And what you need to keep in mind about when we are talking about the seeds and when you are thinking about the seeds, be sure your seeds came from reliable source, from the reliable breeders, and how you can recognize this. On the right picture, you can see the example of the package that you can receive from Syngenta with any items that displayed in this picture. You have to be sure that all of these items is true. So if you see any discrepancy or any mistake in the all mentioned items here, please immediately inform your customer service or your key account manager. It's very critical thing to receive the seeds from the proper source. And if you because you already have a seeds in your production area, don't forget about one next item to properly keep your seeds in proper condition. What you have to think at least is keep your seeds away from direct heating or direct sun. It's one critical thing. If you if you receive the seeds, don't leave it in open area. Sometimes any growers just for ensure reasons receiving a big batch of the seeds. In this case, please be sure that your seeds will be stored in the proper condition. If you would like to store it for a long time, and by the way, Gerbera can be stored at least for 5 months. It is possible to keep it a little bit longer, but be sure not use the seed which is elder than 6 months. So if you would like to store Gerbera seeds for a long time, please keep in a specific condition. As I mentioned in a slide, the temperature in the storage area should be from 3 till 5 degrees, and relative humidity should be about 50% of relative humidity in the air. Why it's critical? Because it affect on the germination rate. If you keep seeds Gerbera even in close sachet, germination rate can be gradually decrease because of the high temperature. The temperature is mostly critical for storage time of Gerbera. Okay, we are prepared with the seeds, with the area, and let's start with material. The first material, what we should be focused on, and this is a critical thing for the Gerbera, for the germination as well. It's substrate for Gerbera. One thing is a critical thing as well. If you reach out this condition, you can get the success with the young plants of Gerbera for sure. Gerbera require very porous substrate, and please don't be how to say greedy to supply substrate with a proper rate of perlite. It is very supportive to use 30% of perlite in your mixture. And be sure that if you use a cocoa-peat, it should be rinsed as well as possible, because the sodium contained in the cocoa-peat is critical for Gerbera as well. Of course, you can use other living agents like zeolite, sands, and vermiculite, but be sure about the quality of these leavening agents, because, for instance, vermiculite, you can use it as well if you haven't any other this kind of material, but be careful, because vermiculite have a rather high pH. Why I focusing on this point? Because Gerbera is the second key point for Gerbera is pH sensitive crop. Gerbera mostly growing is the second and the common name of Gerbera is Barberton daisies. It's honestly original from the South African Republic, from the Barberton area, and there mostly they have a quite acid substrates, quite acid soil. So that's why naturally Gerbera require quite low pH range. And here you can see the rate of pH range from 5.5 up to 5.9. But it's better to keep pH in a range closer to 5.6, 5.9. For sowing, please use unfilled with a fertilizer substrate. EC should be about 0.5 millisiemens per centimeter. Why I strictly advise to use not filled with a fertilizer substrate, because you never know what kind of and what level of nutrients you will receive in this substrate. Because of course you can read for sure you can read the any items, any properties of the substrate on the package, but you never know what's happened with the nitrogen, because nitrogen can be a compound of nitrogen can be decayed and can be blown out with the wind from the substrate. So that's why it's better to control fertigation of a Gerbera with a fertigation with a fertilizer that you will use with watering, but not that you receive with the substrate. And another items that you can be focused on the substrate when we're talking about the substrate, it's a substrate moisture level. Use a completely filled substrate in the first stage. So it's mean it should be at the level 5. It's mean substrate can be filled, all pores can be filled with the water, and it's made to say even trays can be soaked into the waters to prepare this kind of moisture level. Let's go to the next material. Now we talked about the substrate, and at this moment we start to talking about the sowing stage and germination stage. Please, I also can recommend to use a little bit deeper cells of the trays to make more healthy root of Gerbera, because naturally Gerbera has a taproot from the seedlings. So that's why this root very quickly go down and grow through the substrate and reach out the bottom. Root system feel more healthy and feel more comfortable if you use more deeper cells of the trays. Requirement for on germination stage. One critical thing what I would like to, and it's not cover Gerbera with the substrate, because Gerbera requires a light for germination. So that's why formerly, I receive some claims from the customers that they didn't get a proper germination. And if I check the pictures, I see some of growers try to cover it with a vermiculite or with a thin layer of substrate. Don't do this way. Please keep the seeds of Gerbera in the surface, and in the little depression of the substrate. You can prepare it mechanically with a special tool. Just press a little bit substrate and put the seeds in the depression of the substrate level. Place just only one seed in a cell. Gerbera have a good germination, and on the picture from the right side you can see the germination rate with a in a common condition. This germination rate received from germination chamber. For sure, they artificial light been applied. But anyway, you can see this is a simple way of sowing. Seeds was covered as well with plastic cover, and later on it was removed from this trays. And here you can see with this simple thing you can get rather nice germination, about 85-90%. What other about germination condition required by Gerbera? Soil temperature can be comfortable 23-24 degrees. It's rather high from other crops, but if you remember that Gerbera originally from the south of Africa, from a real tropical climate, at the time when the Gerbera germinating in nature, they received a very stable temperature. So that's why you can see the temperature can be held between in the very short range from 23 till 24. And of course, not remember about the Gerbera sensitive to pH reaction of the substrate. pH should be 5.5, 5.9. And the first watering, since seedling get appeared, since they show their first leaf, you already should apply fertilizer in the level, EC should be in a level 0.75 already. Okay, let's go for the on the critical thing, on the key items that you should provide. And this is key items. It's made to say the little tricky items you can apply for Gerbera to get a success. And first one, hold a very small gap between the day and night temperature, because as I explained before, Gerbera came from the South Africa, from tropical climate, and Gerbera is a temperature sensitive crop as well. That when the temperature rise up, Gerbera go to dormant period. It start to leave, they start to drop their leaves and start to drop the flowers. So that's why if you for instance, intend to apply very big gap between day and night temperature, it can bring unexpected reaction from Gerbera. So that's why apply not very big gap between day and night temperature. Day temperature, comfortable day temperature should be held on the 20-21 degrees, and night temperature not lower than 18 degrees. It's very comfortable for many countries of APAC region, because it's really difficult to hold really cold temperature. So that's why it's a good opportunity if you use a Gerbera. And because Gerbera is just only facultative short day crop, it's not need to shading and it not need to extend the day length. I talking about day length, I mean the day with the light time. Gerbera for sure as a tropical crop like the very high light level, and the light level should be held up to 50 kilo lux, or 5,000 foot candles. It's easily to transfer from kilolux to foot candles if you divide kilolux on 10 or multiply foot candles on 10. So media level should be, media AC should be kept in the first stage on a level 0.5 till 0.75. What is mean? It's mean if you see the substrate EC level will drop down then 0.5, it's mean your plant's hungry. Just little bit increase fertilizer in the watering solution. And if you see when in the case when the EC level will increase up to 80, up to 0.75, please little bit slightly decrease fertilizer in the watering solution. And what you should keep for all crops, not only for Gerbera, don't apply fresh water. This is a key thing. This is a really simple. This is a really tricky but very simple thing. Don't apply fresh water, especially when you watering the Gerbera. The fertilizer rate, the next one, next item, what I would like to explain the fertilizer rate. The most common NPK rate in a fertilizer should be looks like this: 15, 5, 15. What's mean? It's mean nitrogen and potassium rate should be in the same level, but phosphorus should be at least 3 times less than a level of potassium and or nitrogen. What's mean? It's mean, in the other hand, it's mean not apply fertilizer with a high amount of phosphorus. And for sure, Gerbera, it's very it's very crop with a good opportunity. You not need to apply PGRs for this crop. So this is a good news for you. You not need to apply any additional treatment on this, as because a Gerbera is a crown crop, or it's rosette crop. It means it hasn't strong and stretchy stems. It has the rosette leaves very close to each other on the stems. So that's why it's honestly not needed PGRs. And plant growth times usually takes about 5-6 weeks. It's made to say necessary information to make your schedule production very properly. And you should decrease the weight level of substrate already on this stage on in between level 4 and level 2. Let's go again through a critical tip. Because as I said, Gerbera can be difficult crop, but if you know this critical tip and if you follow this critical tip, you will see how easily to produce Gerbera honestly. The moisture is moisture management is key. In the picture from the right side, you can see the damage which can appear sometime on Gerbera. What is mean? The leaves are curling, and the leaves are little bit receive oedema, kind of oedema things. So what's mean? It's mean Gerbera receive fresh water or Gerbera receive excess of water. Try to keep the media moist, avoid from saturated, and let the media little bit dry between the watering. And another key thing, never apply water in the second half of daytime. Why it's critical? It's critical as because in the nighttime Gerbera not able to evaporate water very quickly. So that's why it's or start to stretch it, or it's start to make try to keep the water inside of the leaves and start to little bit curve on inside of the leaves parenchyma, start to save the water in the leaves parenchyma and start to curling they leaf. And don't change EC in the water too fast. At least you can alterate the EC in the water on level 0.3. If you try to change EC, for instance, from level 1.5 down to 1.0, just make it in 2 times. And the first step, you should decrease on level from 1.5 on level 1.2, and the next changes should, with the next watering, you should decrease EC level up to 1.0. This is, I think, very understandable and very simple explanation. And of course, continue pH in the water and with every watering as you apply for Gerbera, because for every watering you have to apply the solution for fertilizer. So that's why before you give to the plants, you should control what you give to the plants. So, what kind of food you would like to offer to your plants. If you understand it correctly, if you pH in the proper level, since 5.5 till 5.9, and the EC level is on the target on the target level, like 1.0 or 1.5, you can apply. If you see the different different measurement, if you see the different results after the measurements, you can adjust the fertilizer with a few drops of the acid, or you decrease fertilizer, or add another additional fertilizer if you see in the case when the EC not match the target volume. And honestly, if you apply this kind of advices, you will get very healthy young plants that will be ready to transplant into the pots. And about the transplantation and about the next stages of the Gerbera production, we will touch in our next session, in the session 2, which will happen in 25th of June next week. So I would like to welcome everybody, and I would like to ask your questions if you have right now, or send it with a chat with a mail as well. And of course, thank you for your attention. Now, I would like to advise to reach out our site, Syngenta, www.syngenta.com. Syngenta-flowers.com, and please reach out your key account manager if you have a question about the ordering of Gerbera and other crops, of course. And please reach out me by mail or by WhatsApp if you have my WhatsApp number to ask the question regarding the Gerbera. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ivan. I think it's a very clear story. Currently, we don't have questions in the chat. To all attendees, feel free to use the Q&A button if you have specific questions to the story of Ivan. And like he said, you can reach our website through www.syngentaflowers.com. If you add /APAC to that, you will automatically land to the pages dedicated to Asia Pacific, our region. And always feel free to reach out to your key account manager. Ivan also said that next week we have a second edition of this webinar. We hope to see you there again. Make sure that you use the right link to open the second session. And Ivan is giving you a sneak preview to the next webinar. Ivan, go ahead.
Yes, next time we will talk, then we will touch preparation for transplanting, as we talked about the preparation for the young plants. I think this is a very critical thing to understand that you already have everything in your place. Then we're talking about the transplanting, and as I explained, remember the crown. The Gerbera is a very how to say it, very VIP person for growing. So that's why I remember about the crown. Vegetative stage and general requirement. What's Gerbera have to get within a vegetative stage? Critical topics. For sure, we talked about the watering tips and about how to reach a healthy root for healthy plant. And of course, not forget about the pH sensitivity. I would like to repeat it more and more because it's quite critical for Gerbera. And don't forget about overwatering of Gerbera. It's very afraid of overwatering. And next one is spacing. Let the plant good space for your high-class plant. You should play high-class place and protect your plants properly, because Gerbera, it's very sweet not only for your customers, it's very sweet for pests and the diseases as well. So don't forget about the protection management. And tips for final stage, how to prepare your plants for very fast and very strong blooming. That's what we will talk we will touch in our next session.
Okay, thank you, Ivan. We have some questions popping up. First from Ashley Burns. What's the biggest cause of leaf cupping?
A leaf, sorry, I have to check. Yeah, first cause of leaf
Capping.
capping. It's mean curving or what's mean capping?
It's in the open Q&As. There we go. Yes, curving up.
Oh, okay, it's curving. Okay, the main cause is overwatering or application of fresh water. I would like to touch what's happening in behind of this, as because the Gerbera came from the tropical climate, as I explained before. Gerbera have a specific habit about water. If they feel that water can be in the not enough amount, it's using every opportunity to store a lot of water inside the plants. So that's why if you apply fresh water, for instance, Gerbera not evaporate this water, it start to fill the cells, the vacuole in the cells, and they start to swollen the cells to store as much water as possible. So that's why some of the cells in the leaves start to swelling, and it's cause of the curving of the leaves. So the main thing, it's freshwater application, excess of water application, difference in the watering, too high difference in the watering in the temperature, and application free of water free of fertilizer. These three critical things: excess of water again, fresh water application, and a different too high difference between the too much after watering, too much water when the plant receives too much water, and in the water level between watering. I mean the difference, high difference between watering in water level of the substrate.
Thank you very much. And maybe you can clarify a little bit further on what you mean when you say fresh water.
Fresh water, I mean this you see without fertilizer. For instance, yeah, it's not. Yeah, this is a good question because it's not clear, because normally water has a EC by itself, because we talking not about distillated water and not about water that came from the reverse osmosis. So that's why anyway water had some kind of salts inside of the solution. And when I talking about the fresh water, I talking about the water has a natural EC. Natural EC can differ between zero sometimes sometimes some grower can able to collect the water from rain, and rainwater can sometimes can bear zero EC. Sorry. And in some sources like wheels or like from open sources like rivers and lakes, the water can bear EC even up to and even higher than the 1.0. So when I talking about the fresh water, I talking about the water without fertilizer, with the natural EC level.
Thank you very much. Another question from an anonymous attendee: how to deal with algae growing on your Gerbera plug trays?
Yeah, this is good question. First thing, try to avoid overwatering. It is a second is a critical reason not only for algae growth. The second thing, try to avoid apply uh, any spraying of the fresh water, a lot of spraying, since the gerber receive first or second nature real leaf. Since the seedlings get open first leaf, stop to watering, stop to apply fogging system, or stop to apply spraying from the top. Honestly, you can drizzling gerbera during the watering, but not apply in between the watering fresh water for spraying. And the third thing, how to this is a normal thing, how to avoid algae growth. And if you receive algae growth, it means you overwater gerbera. And of course, there is another cause of the algae growth, this cause can called not proper scheduling. So if the Gerbera cannot or gap or mismatch or in scheduling, if the Gerbera not get a proper condition, it start to slow down in growth. So that's why you extend the vegetation time, and during this vegetation time, Gerbera cannot quickly cover substrate by leaves. And the watered substrate, when it's get wet, it start to infested by algae. So that's also can be cause critical cause of algae appearance on the surface. And how to avoid it too, as I explained, to keep Gerbera with a proper water amount, not overwatering, not apply on the how to say it, mature young plants spraying with the fresh water or foraging system with the fresh water. And another thing, if anyway you see appearance of the algae on the surface, it's better to use some chemical to control the algae growth. It's based on the peroxide salts or peroxide acids. If you would like to get more information, please reach out me by mail. I will send you recommendation what kind of chemical you can use against the algae growth. And thank you for the question.
Thanks, Ivan. Another question from Growing's iPad. Is there any calcium deficiency causing leaf curling?
Honestly, calcium deficiency you can find very seldom on Gerbera, because normally calcium contains in water. You can find this only if you mostly if you apply fresh water on a Gerbera. But please keep in mind, Gerbera time to time need to receive calcium nitrate. If you use in between, you use a NPK. So that's why, and just as because Gerbera naturally came from the condition where they grow on the substrate with a low pH, normally he didn't show any calcium deficiency.
Thank you.
Yep.
At this moment, there are no further questions. Does anyone else have another question? Please type that in the chat.
And Michael, sorry, can I add another things about the calcium deficiency? I would like to talk about fertigation in the next session a lot. Because at this moment we talked about the young plants production, and normally, as I explained, the NPK you should apply proper NPK rate. But please not forget about one thing. Normally, NPK complex fertilizer with NPK don't have enough amount of calcium, and of course, you should apply every third or every fourth watering. You have to change NPK on calcium nitrate with the same EC level. For instance, if you add in the water 2 grams per liter or 1.5 grams per liter NPK, every third or every fourth watering, you should change in on calcium nitrate with the same level of with the same gram per liter of calcium nitrate. This is a way calcium deficiency, but honestly, as I explained before, Gerbera not shows any critical calcium deficiency during the first stages.
Okay, thank you. Another question came in. I'm not sure if that will be related to this webinar or the next one. How to control trips on Gerbera?
Oh, that's a good thing. Of course, we will touch it in our next webinar when we will talk about the diseases, about the protection management. The first good approach is to apply the systematic, the system protection strategy. What does it mean? You should apply not only chemicals. Of course, you can apply the chemicals, and I will briefly talked about this at this. I can briefly explain about chemical application at this moment, but honestly, not forget about the complex approach, about systematic in a protection strategy. The first one, you able to apply not only chemicals. For instance, you can apply the traps, sticky traps. Is very common and very easily things how to control the trips population in your greenhouse. It's able to apply or only sheets, small sheets of the yellow colored sticky traps, or plastic covered, which can be applied in the side of greenhouse or in between the paths. It's one thing. The second thing, cover. It's the critical thing that not many growers knows about this. It's like a secret, one secret. Please cover natural surface of a greenhouse. I mean the soil surface in greenhouse. Even if you apply the tables or benches for the to grow the trays, to put the trays with the plants, to grow the plants. If you using the table for to put the plants on the tables, please cover with the plastic or with any material that can insulate the soil level from the volume of the greenhouse, because the trips has a dormant stage between a larva stage and the mature stage, and this dormant stage happening in the ground. And trips need to dig the small holes in the ground and make a transformation inside in a puppet inside the soil inside the soil volume. So that's why if you cover all areas of greenhouse with a plastic layer or with a plastic film or with any coverage which can protect and which not able to trips to dig down the under the surface of the soil, you will protect your plants from the propagation of the trips inside the greenhouse. Another thing, it's quarantine. Not apply the people to keep the doors open. Because with open doors, trips can come with just even if they don't intend to come to greenhouse, it can captured by the wind with the wind, and because the trips is quite small, it can be brought with the wind into greenhouse. And of course, the chemical application, one of the best chemicals against the trips, it can be Actara, because Actara is a systematic. And of course, you can apply any kind of systematic chemicals, which can fill the plant from inside. And when the trips feeding by the plants, it can get these kind of chemicals, and because they feeding with a juice, plant juice with this kind of chemicals. Interesting question.
Thank you very much, Ivan. At this moment, there are no further questions. And I think this is a good moment to wrap up. Looking forward to meet all of you again next week in the second webinar, where Ivan will go into the details of the final stages. Again, thanks a lot, Renate Bos, for co-hosting, and Ivan for sharing your immense amount of knowledge on growing webinars. And I look forward to see a great Gerbera production in the tropical climates in the upcoming season. Thanks, everybody, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.